Hey guys, Ben here with H90 Productions, and welcome to the H90 Productions podcast, where I give you updates on everything that's happening in the world of H90 Productions. Today is Sunday, October 12th, and on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about this viral video that I talked about 3 weeks ago on the last podcast. And now these podcasts are meant to go bi-weekly, so every other week. But last weekend, I had a pickup recording session with a couple of the actors from Mango 2, which took up most of the weekend, which is why I couldn't record the podcast. And if you're new here, there are a lot of new subscribers to this channel over the last 3 weeks. If you're new here, this is something I do in my spare time. I have a full-time job, so I'm building this production company, this DIY one-man band production company from the ground up. And so bear with me. I'm doing the best I can. So we're going to talk about this viral video, which continues to blow up the channel. And I will talk about the pickup recording session I had last weekend. I can't wait to share more about that. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the Rode NT1 microphone, which I have right here. And I've been getting a lot of questions about what microphone I'm using to record these actors for the audio projects I'm working on. So I want to just talk a little bit about that. I will also give you updates on Mango 2 and where I'm at in post-production. And I will also talk about Mango 1, Mango Dead Series, which is available to listen to right now. I'm going to talk about the making of series and what video is coming up next. So let's jump into it. Welcome if you're new here. Welcome to my channel and welcome to this little podcast show, which again, I try to do every other week. If something happens on the weekend, like production, it's hard for me to do all of that in one weekend. Last weekend, I had you know what? Sorry. I'm so sorry. Let's talk about the viral video first, because that's maybe why a lot of you guys are here. The video is a short called Mic Sensitivity Can Be Wild, and I posted it about 3 weeks ago. I remember the last podcast episode I did. I think it was just a couple days after I posted it, and at the time, it had like 1 million views. The subscriber count like doubled on my channel. 3 weeks ago, there was like 200 subscribers to this channel. Thank you very much for the first 200. I really appreciate you being here first. And over the last 3 weeks, this video has blown up. There's now more than 8 million views on it. There's like hundreds of thousands of 300,000 likes, I think. You know what? Actually, let me just double check that. I want to give you guys some accurate information here. Let's see. It is 191,000 likes and 394 comments, not including all the little troll, like just people talking shit for no reason, which I delete and I just ignore because people are just trying to start shit. And that was something I talked about on the last podcast about, like the ups, like the good side and the bad side of a video going viral, which has never happened to me before. And that's really what this channel's all about, is I'm trying to share everything with you as it's happening to me. So you're kind of in on the adventure here of not only trying to kind of make stuff, but also promote it and make all the behind the scenes content for it, but also kind of trying to grow a little production company into something. This viral video has pulled up a lot of the other content on the channel, which is great too. It's exposed a lot more people to all the other stuff. So all the other videos are continuing to rise, and the viewership and engagement is continuing to grow. And I'm sharing this again because like I'm just trying to, I don't want it to come across as like, oh, look how awesome this is or whatever. I'm actually just completely overwhelmed with it. Like it's given me a lot of anxiety because I was expecting this channel just to, slowly but surely grow. Like that would be fine for me. And I know it's only 3,000 subscribers, but that's like a lot compared to 200. It's been a lot over the last 3 weeks. It was just something I wasn't expecting. And, that has kind of impacted post-production on Mango 2, kind of managing this channel now as it grows. So again, not something I was expecting, but very grateful for it. And if you're here because of that, that's awesome. I hope you're here because you're interested in behind-the-scenes stuff, behind-the-scenes filmmaking, behind-the-scenes voice acting. My one fear with that video, since it's about like mic sensitivity, that wasn't ever the goal. It wasn't meant to be like a sensory challenge or anything like that. But one of my fears is that it's like attracting people who are not exactly the right audience for like behind the scenes DIY filmmaking, which is what this is. But time will tell. We're gonna find out together. And that video actually took it kind of went quiet for a little bit. And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, I can kind of get back to my schedule a little bit. But then boom, it got pushed out again. Again, I have no idea how this is happening, why this is happening. It got pushed out again because I just started getting more and more comments. And I guess it got pushed into another audience. And so very grateful for that. Just very surprised that it was one video. Super surprised that it was that video. But hey, whatever helps bring the right viewers and audience to this channel is that's all what it's all about is making that stuff, is to share. It's also to just, the ultimate goal is to get as many people to listen to this Mango audio series as possible and show you guys how it was made. And so it's been a really exciting last 3 weeks. My kind of content strategy with YouTube, that video is actually all done really well on TikTok also, just to kind of share some other stuff. Like I'm on other social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Now, what I've learned is that Instagram and Facebook, their algorithm is like very geared towards what your followers are how your followers are engaging with your content. So unfortunately on those channels, the subscribers and followers to those channels don't really engage with the content. So the videos don't really end up getting pushed out. But apparently with TikTok and like YouTube Shorts, their algorithms are different in that they just push it out to more people. I'm sure this is changing constantly, but that's how I understand it. I think Instagram and Facebook will be great for like paid campaigns eventually down the line. If I ever get to that point, I want to like kind of, try to put a few bucks behind an ad or something like that. That might be where that shines. But for now, TikTok and YouTube particularly, are the ones that are doing the most work for getting the word out there, brand awareness, which is what we're talking about here. So hopefully that's not boring to you, but just in terms of like starting a production company and making stuff that you want to get people to see, marketing is like almost equal to or more important than making the thing. That's something I've learned over the years. I work in marketing for my day job. It's been like my job for the last 8 years has been like a master class, a graduate degree in marketing the right way, like of just working with some really talented people who are just marketing pros. It's so important. It's like massively important. I mean, look at this example right now. That one little short video has attracted a lot of new people to the channel. And if you're thinking about making stuff, I would highly consider thinking about the marketing and promotional plan. That was a huge part of making Mango in the beginning when this idea first popped in my head to do an audio thing, but then also like, okay, well, how can I market it? How can I get people to listen to it? And this video is a big part of that. So you might think audio drama, audio series, oh, no video, all good. But for me, it was like, oh, I have to like double down on the video content now because there is no video of the actual thing. Now there's videos of the actors performing and all the behind the scenes stuff, which I love. So that was a big kind of decision early on. I told myself I might not have the best audio series out there, but I am going to make sure that I have the best behind the scenes making of an audio series out there. And then, eventually I'd love to make a live action feature film. And with something like that, that's going to have a ton of behind the scenes content that's filmed and that'll just, kind of dovetail nicely into what this channel is all about, what H90 Productions is all about is DIY filmmaking, but also showing you how it's done. Getting a little feedback here on the headset. I wonder if that's just my headphones or is that A connection. It went away. That sounds good. Okay. So enough about the viral video. Let's move on to pickups. So pickups. Last weekend, I had a recording session with 2 actors from Mango 2. So if you're new here, Mango 1, Mango Dead Series is out for you to listen to. It's a feature-length audio drama that's available to listen to here on my YouTube channel or wherever you find fiction podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. So you can listen to that right now. And I'm in the process of making Mango 2. And I've been documenting the whole thing, a lot of it on this podcast, kind of the real time in the moment of what's happening with Mango 2. And earlier this year, we had a really big recording session to pick up the majority of what was needed for Mango 2. I guess I'm calling that principal recording. That was earlier in the year, and we're already at October. And since then, I've been doing a lot of post-production. I'm deep in post-production now. And last weekend, I picked up some stuff that I didn't finish with one of the actors and picked up some new stuff with another actor. So it's kind of a pickup session, although because it was new stuff, I like to call the pickup sessions stuff that we've already recorded, but we're going to do it again, or maybe there was a rewrite or something like that, which is coming in the next month or two. I will have proper pickup sessions. So this session last weekend was kind of like an in-between session. So last weekend I recorded with Monica Marquez and Anjali Khatan. And Monica Marquez is playing the role of Commander Rodriguez. And this is kind of a new information. I haven't released this information out anywhere. And the reason I want to do that here is because I want the podcast to be kind of breaking news stuff. So, if you've been following along and listening, this is new information for you. So Monica Marquez is playing Commander Rodriguez, and Anjali Khatan is playing the role of Anika Desai, who's a NASA biologist. So with Monica, I had recorded probably 75% of her stuff earlier in the year, and we finished everything we needed to. We grabbed everything we didn't record in the initial recording sessions, which I think we had 2. Now, we'll definitely need to go back with Monica and do pickups. So go back through the script. There's been a couple rewrites due to how things were shaping up in the edit. And that happened on Mango 1. It happened a lot on Mango 1 because that was my first one and I was figuring things out. This one, it's much more kind of like smaller rewrites, smaller pickup sessions. Mango 1, I mean, there were complete like rewrites of characters and just it wasn't as clean as Mango 2 is. And in my defense, that was my first one. So, but Mango 2, I will go back and grab pickups with Monica. Now, I also recorded with Anjali Khatan, who's playing the role of Anika Desai, a NASA biologist. I previously hadn't recorded anything with Anjali, and I keep calling her Anika. Their names are so similar, which I guess means great casting. But I hadn't recorded anything with Anjali yet. So we grabbed all of her stuff for the role of Anika Desai. It went really great. Both actors are so awesome, so fun to work with. Monica actually had a very small role in Mango Dead Series. She was the paramedic, just a handful of lines, but she ended up booking kind of this major role in Mango 2. And Anjali is just like so fun, so funny. I can't wait to share behind the scenes content of her session. She's just like really fun to work with. Both of them are just total pros. We got through everything we needed. It was a long day. But I've already started actually putting that stuff into the edit, and I will include that in my Mango 2 post-production update a little bit later. So moving on to this Rode NT1 microphone. So a lot of questions coming in, particularly from this viral video about what microphone are you using to record these guys. I'm using the Rode NT1. And this is it right here. And you might have noticed I have one right back here. And that's one of the reasons I am using this microphone. Now, I want to preface this by saying I am not like an audio pro. And you might be like, well, you're showing all this behind the scenes stuff and voice acting and all that. How are you not an audio pro? Well, I've been in the filmmaking industry for 20 years, and I've worn a lot of different hats, and I continue to wear a lot of different hats. Jack of all trades, master of none. My primary kind of department coming up was the camera department. So I was a cinematographer. Back in the day, I knew a lot more about the cameras than I know now. Now it's kind of like I have cameras that work and I'm fine with it. But because I wear a lot of hats, it's hard for me to like stay up to date on every single piece of equipment. So I'm kind of more of the guy who, if it works, I'm going to use it. Like I still use a C100 to shoot a lot of stuff. The behind the scenes stuff you see on my channel from recording Mango 1, or I don't think I've posted anything from Mango 2 yet. Yeah, it's C100s. Part of the reason why I like to use gear that's affordable is I kind of feel like having multiple pieces works for me. So for instance, with this mic, I have one set up here permanently that I do all my recording kind of in my in-house studio. And then I have another one here in a kit, a mobile kit that I take with me to a studio. So that was one of the big reasons why I chose this mic, aside from all the great views. And again, I'm not like a mic professional. When I was researching this mic early on, I wanted to keep the budget real small. Like this was the first one. Mango 1 was the first thing I was working on. And so I wanted to make sure that I was spending as little as possible. There were really great reviews about this mic. It's very affordable. It comes with all the different pieces you need. So you can see up here, it comes with a shock mount. It comes with the shock mount. It comes with the pop guard. So everything you need for a couple $100, boom. And in my mind, I was like, okay, you know what? I might be recording remotely with actors. I might need to send this mic to somebody. So I'm going to get two. I'm going to get one for me in-house, in-home studio, and then I'll have another one that is kind of like my remote mobile mic setup. I also at the time wanted to keep the mics consistent. So in my thinking at the time was like, okay, if I'm using the same mic with everyone, it'll have some sort of consistency. I realize now that might not be as important, but I like the idea of using the same mic because I just know what's going to happen with it now that I've recorded with it a bunch. And you might be wondering, why didn't I record with this Shure SM7B right here? That's right, the SM7B. I always get these numbers mixed up. I got a Shure MX70. I think that's that one up there. Microphones everywhere. But you might be wondering why I didn't record with this. I love the way this sounds. And sometimes when I do, I kind of jump into the Mango voice here. I love how warm and this mic is compared to this NT1. This is a much brighter, crisper sound than this kind of deeper, more, warm mic again, this is just what I've kind of discovered through my process of over the last couple years of diving deep into audio stuff. But the reason why I don't use this for voiceover work is it's much more directional. Like I kind of have to be like right here talking into it. And with the way I record the actors, if you've been following along with the BTS, I like the actors to be open and free. Like I want them to be as close to performing like it was a live action production, meaning this is how they recorded Wes Anderson recorded the Fantastic Mr. Fox. This is how they recorded Rango with Johnny Depp, that animation. They're like on location. They're in a studio with a boom mic following around the actors so they can perform and be physical in the space. So they're not just sitting in a booth, sitting there with headphones on and like reading a book or something, like the audio, like narrators. That's what I'm trying to achieve with how I'm directing the actors in a booth. Now, I don't have the resources to be on set to, rent out a big sound stage where I can run around with the actors and we can get physical. So I'm recording in a studio space, but I'm trying to lean in that direction as much as possible. So I want them to be able to move away from the mic a little bit. And you can hear right now that this thing isn't really picking me up unless I'm right here. Now, with this pattern, a cardioid pattern, it picks up much more in front of the mic. Now, it rejects a lot of things behind the mic, which is great, but it picks up a lot of stuff in front. So they can, if you've, again, watched some of those behind the scenes videos, they don't have to be right up on the mic. And that gives them the freedom now to act. And even with these headphones, like right now, this cord is kind of like in my way. And other people have asked me about that. Like, why aren't they wearing headphones? Well, I have speakers in the room so they can hear me. They don't need headphones to hear me, or another actor, because I record everyone separately. That's another reason why I made that decision. So they can be free to move around. And even when I'm recording in here, I actually use headphones in here because I don't have a director listening for me. I kind of have to listen for myself. And I've gotten used to hearing myself, and like the Mango voice is a little bit more of a character. So it helps me hear when I'm in the pocket with his voice. Like right now it's, I got to warm up to do it. But when I'm recording here, I have to listen to myself. And I do find sometimes with the cable from the headphones and all that kind of gets in the way. And I wish I could be free like the actors are in performing with Mango 1 and Mango 2. So that's a big reason why I picked this style of mic, this condenser microphone. Another thing I wanted to mention is why I have the mobile kit. So I have this one set up in my place, and I have one that's in a Pelican case with everything else I need. I actually have another recorder in there. So it's all in one case. And I really like how efficient that is. One, so I don't have to break this all down. Like every time I go record with someone, I can just move fast. I have it all in a case, boom. And I record in studios that are sound designed, or that are soundproof, that are built for recording in, but I just don't use any of the equipment. And a big reason for that is one, I'm not even sure if I'd know how to use any of that equipment. You usually need an audio engineer, all that sophisticated stuff. And for this project, I want to be quick, I want to be nimble, and I want to be familiar with the gear I'm using. So when I rent these studios, I'm just looking for a space that's soundproofed. And I go in there with my own equipment, I set up, boom, we record, I'm done, and I pack up and I'm out of there. I don't, need someone there to show me all the equipment. So I found that to be a really effective kind of DIY approach to recording this stuff, is making sure I have my own equipment. So that is kind of a big reason why I'm recording on the Rode NT1. And I've just been really happy with the mics. Now, moving forward, I would be interested in experimenting with different microphones. I've gotten some great comments about what other mics to try on some of these videos, like different mics for different styles of voices. Like maybe there's a better mic, for instance, like something like this that's going to sound really great with Mango's voice, and then maybe a different mic that sounds better with a kind of higher frequency voice. I'm not anywhere near that level of expertise, but I hope to learn more about it moving forward. And hopefully I will after Mango 2, and then maybe Mango 3 start trying to switch up on some mics. But that is a little bit more about the Rode NT1, and I hope that helps answer some questions. I'll probably cut that out into a little short and share that. But moving on, let's talk about what's up next here, guys. This is going to be a little bit of a longer episode, but there's been a lot to cover because it's been 3 weeks since I last recorded. Let's jump into the update on Mango 2. This is about post-production. I gave you a little bit of update. I gave you a little bit of info on the pickup recording sessions I had last weekend, which is for Mango 2. And so with post-production, I am getting very close to building out my reels, which is a big step for me because right now everything's separated out by scene. So each scene has some audio dialogue in it, a little bit of sound design, and then music to kind of just make sure the scene's working. And that's each timeline is a separate scene, and there's 56 scenes. The next step is to build reels. So this is something I did not do on Mango 1, but I will be doing on Mango 2 to make it easier on my editing platform, because working on a feature-length project all in one timeline really bogs the machine down. So I'm separating the project into reels. So instead of working on an hour and 40-minute project in one timeline, which I naively did the first time, it worked, by the way, it just was a little slow. I'm going to be separating it out into reels, probably 5 or 6 reels, depending on time. It's basically 15 to 18 minutes per reel. That's another way of saying just combining, making the first 15 minutes, one reel, the second 15 minutes, another reel, and so on and so forth. And that kind of breaks it up. It makes it easy to work with, but then that's going to allow me to really see this thing from a wide lens. One more thing I should mention about that is those reels I will then take and put into its own timeline to make the whole project. So I'll have separate timelines by separate reels, And then I'll take all those reels and put those into another timeline, which just has all those reels in it. That will really help me like see the project from a wide lens. Because right now I'm just listening to it scene by scene. I'll get to the end of the scene and I'll jump over to another sequence and listen to it. But you really need to listen to it like in one flow, in one go. That's really what starts making it feel like something. And so once that happens, and now I can do that because now I have all my dialogue in there, a lot of sound effects, a lot of music. It's not perfect, but it's enough to just kind of feel it out. So once I have that and listen to it a few times and work with it in that way in the reels, then I will go into pickups because at that point I'll know exactly what I need. And just want to mention, sometimes when I'm working in these reels or even working in the scenes and I want to add a line, I'll temp record the line as one of the characters and throw it in there just for pacing and timing. So there's a lot of that. I'm looking at my timeline right now. There's a lot of that in there of just like temp voiceover. Like I'm doing the voice for, oh, we got the dolphins. That always means I'm going over. I feel like I have like the dolphins on like a 20-minute timer. But when we see the dolphins, we know that this is going to be a long podcast. So there's a lot of temp VO in the edit right now where I'm like recording a line as one of the characters or another character and kind of like, it's a little silly. I should share that, but it works for me because I can just hear it. I know that it's like a placeholder. So once I have the whole edit together, all the reels in a timeline, and I've listened to it over and over again, I'm like, okay, this is working. I just need the final audio. Boom. That's when I'm going to go schedule the final, I hate saying final because it's never final, pickup sessions with the actors. And that'll happen hopefully sometime in the next month or two. I'm really trying to do that before the end of the year when the holidays arrive and schedules get unpredictable. So that should be happening in the next month or two. And I'll be working with most of the actors again because there are a few rewrites and there are a few things I need to grab. And like, I know for a fact, one of the actors, I just need to grab like 2 lines, but we're going to bring them in and we're going to do it because I can't fake that. And no, I'm not going to use AI. That's a whole nother podcast, by the way. I will never, ever, ever use AI as voice actors or actors. And the simple reason for that is that's the fun part. That's the part I like. I like working with the actors. Why would I do that? It's like having someone, I don't know, like having a robot play a video game for you. Why would you do that? And I know why people do that because they're just about the result. They want to cut costs and they want to make money, et cetera. But for me, as a DIY indie hard production company, no way, never. I will share more about that moving forward because I know it's always going to be a hot topic. But I like doing it. I got to bring them in for 2 lines. You know what? I like that. It's fun. So, okay, that's Mango 2. I'm going to wrap this up pretty quickly here. Mango 1, next week, barring any major setbacks, I will be posting another making of video about Mango Dead Serious, Mango 1, and this features my recording session with actor John Eddings for the role of Uncle Henry West. So very excited to share that. I've been working on it the last couple of weeks. There's still a lot to do. There's so much to do. There's just always so much to do. But that was a long one, but it's been 3 weeks and a lot's been going on. And I hope that kind of brings you inside H90 Productions and gives you some good insight to what is happening here. That is it for now. Barring any major setbacks, I will be back in 2 weeks with another update. I really appreciate you following along. This is a lot of fun for me to bring you guys in behind the scenes. It gives me someone to talk to while I'm doing this. I know that sounds kind of weird, but like it's almost therapeutic in a way that I can share and kind of wrap my head around all the things that are happening. And it's almost like journaling in a way. So, really appreciate it. I'll see you in 2 weeks. I hope you have a great 2 weeks. Until then, stay safe, stay tuned, and thanks for watching.